Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel that is at the rate Simplified Biology with Mohmita. So here I am today going to simplify you the pollen-pistil interaction. It is a very vital step between the pollination and fertilization because in this step the pollens which are deposited on the stigma they are reaching to the female gametophyte, okay, to the egg. So pollen pistil interaction is very important step. So let's come in detail. So pollen pistil interaction is a process that includes pollen deposition on stigma, pollen germination, and entry of pollen tube into the ovule. These are the three steps takes place in the pollen pistil interaction. Okay, pistil is the female part of the flower. It is divided into stigma, style and ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. Okay, so here stigma is the pistil, a part of pistil. And we all know pollen. Pollen is the male part of the flower, male sexual part. So pollen grain that are developed within the anther. So female part pistil and male part anther. Anther and pollens are formed in the anther. So pollen pistil interaction is pollen deposition on stigma, pollen germination and entry of pollen tube on into the ovule. So here pollen which are deposited on the stigma are of different types. That means pollens are not coming on the stigma are not only for that particular species, they for the desired species. Because whenever the pollination is occurring, the pollination has not guarantee the pollen to transfer for the particular species. Here different types of pollen of different types of species are deposited on the stigma. Some pollens are of the species of this plant and some are of the other. So here we can classify the pollen as the compatible and incompatible pollen grains. Okay, so here is the two types of pollens, that is compatible and incompatible. Look, compatible pollens are the pollens that are of the same flower that actually stigma requires for its fertilization. So here the pollens which are come on the stigma or from this plant. Okay. Or a pollen that are of the same species maybe come from the another plant of the same species. So the pollen which is actually required by the stigma, that is actually called the compatible pollen. But the pollen which are incompatible, that means wrong type of pollen, that are the pollen which come on the stigma but that are not required by the stigma, that are called the incompatible pollen or wrong type of pollen. So that pollen maybe it's a incompatible pollens is actually two types. First, suppose the pollen of its own, stigma don't require any type of pollen of its own. They require the pollen from the other another plants. In that way, maybe it's a bisexual flower, but the pollen grains are not required by their own stigma. That is a one kind of incompatibility. And the another incompatibility is that some pollen come on the stigma that are also not of the same species. Suppose it's a apple tree, but the pollen come from the mango tree. That pollen which come from the mango tree is incompatible to that plant. Okay. So these are the two types of incompatibility, that the pollen grains that incompatible pollens are not able to germinate on the stigma, and only compatible pollens can germinate. Okay, compatible pollens are the pollen that are actually required by the stigma. So here the pollen grain is a pollen grain. It has two layers, outer exine and inner intine. Exine wall, the outer wall exine, it is made up of sporopollenin, and the outer wall has minute pores. Okay, that pores are actually composed of protein, glycogen, lipid. Okay, so and some also reactable agent called allergen. That are present on the exine. And intine, it is made up of protein and polysaccharides. So this is about the pollen grain. Now come to the surface of the stigma. This is the surface of the stigma. Okay. The surface of the stigma may be of two types. Sometimes it's the surface is wet and the surface may be dry. The wet surface is due to the secretion of the protein, amino acids and lipids, and dry surface of the stigma is composed of protein, lipid, carbohydrate. Okay. When pollen grains come on the stigma, the compatible pollen only can have the interaction with the stigma, and also they absorb the water and amino acids, proteins. These are actually absorbed by the pollen. When the pollen absorbs water, it swell up and it ruptures its intine. First ruptures its exine and then intine. Intine, by the rupture of the exine, suppose this is exine, it ruptures, and the intine within it emerges to form a pollen tube. This is pollen tube, and that pollen tube actually emerges through the stigma. When the pollen grain deposited on the stigma, there are some sporophytic tissues. Here, pollen secretes some hydrolyzing enzymes. That hydrolyzing enzyme hydrolyzes the tissue, and the pollen tube can emerges within the style. Okay, they can enter within the style, and when they enter within the style, they grows up and come to reach to the female gametophyte. Here, egg is there. First, they reach to the synergids. So their emergence, their path is actually growing smooth by the enzymes. The particular enzyme that makes the path of the pollen tube smooth, that is inositol calcium boron inositol sugar. That chemical helps the pollen tube to come within the style, okay, and help to reach to the synergids. So if we make a list about all the events of pollen-pistil interaction, then a flow chart can be done. Okay. Here is the flow chart. Look at the chart, that this is the steps of pollen-pistil interaction. Pollen grains, first event is pollen grain land on the stigma. Okay. Then here is the diagram beside the chart. Pollen grain land on the stigma here. Then chemical interaction between pollen and pistil. Here chemical interactions actually going on between pollen and pistil, because I have already said that there are some pollen secretes some hydrolyzing enzyme that hydrolyzes the tissue. Okay, compatible pollen, when they come on the stigma, they release some hydrolyzing enzyme, and that hydrolyzing enzyme hydrolyzes the tissue that can pollen tube grow into the stigma. Then stigma identify the pollen, that is then incompatible pollen discarded. Incompatible pollens are then discarded. Only compatible pollen can go ahead. Next, germination of compatible pollen. Then pollen tube emerges. Then what happens? Pollen tube releases pectinase and hydrolyzing enzyme. Okay. And then pollen tube develops and enters into the embryo sac. With the help of this particular enzyme, calcium boron inositol sugar. That enzyme helps the pollen tube to come through across the style. So these are all about the pollen-pistil interaction. Thank you for watching. Very soon I will meet with you with my new video, with my next video. Till then, take care. Thank you.